Hello and welcome here to Rodos. We are going to make a flight here in a new aircraft that probably is not that new because I have been flying it in FSX some years ago, even though the FMS in the aircraft is a bit on debate that it uses the Tectron FMS. Some of you would also know that I original for the Imperia 170 series was beta tester for the version 1. This is the Imperia 145. I only got this variant basically due to the fact of it's the aircraft size that I would like, as well as at some point you could say I'm a bit how should I say feel a bit more for the whole series. This is $50. The entire fleet is $90, and right now there's a discount, so you actually can get the 170 and 90 series as well for just $10 extra. So I actually would say go for the whole series if that was it, but I can't see how the version 2 of the 170 and 90 variant is, so that's why I only go for this variant here. Another thing I have to disclaim here is that we're not going to follow the checklists and such. I am trying to demonstrate the FMS, how to actually set it up for a complete flight, and you would know from the Imperia 170 version 1 that the Tecton worked a bit different. As far as I remember, it still has some of the elements, but the way that you go through the setup here works a bit more easy, I would say, and gets you from A to B pretty easy. And I would demonstrate that approach to setting it up when that is. Okay. I apologize if I sound a bit like I'm trying to speed things up, and I really does because I want to make the video as short and informative as possible, as well as I already have made 2 attempts to make this recording, where I actually have recorded around an hour right now. So so that's basically also an element. Marco is very talented when it comes to the modeling and such. It looks very polished. When you look at some of the details, of course, I have not been into every little corner, but there are some details for the aircraft that would make it justice. Okay, so without further ado, let's get the aircraft ready for boarding. Let's open up here and remove those engine covers because we normally would not have those, and switch on the ground power units so we can get APU up and running. One thing you should know here in the cockpits of this aircraft is the philosophy about the knobs when they are active and when they are not active, because it is quite different from what we are normally used to in aircrafts, where we have more switches like this, or you have an indication that it says if it's on or off. But that's not the case in this particular aircraft, and that's of course, when you know it, well, it's pretty simple. So that's it. Okay, but let's get the power here. You can see the avionics is at the moment off. That's the odd thing here, because normally you would guess that when it is lit, it is active, but that's not the case. That's actually when it is off. So let's set the ground power unit, and here comes a bit of the oddness. You can see that it lights up when the GPU is on. It says that it is available and lit up when it is active. And for the avionics, if you go down here, see, they would switch off. So that might confuse some users and even me, as you could see there. I actually made the first video. It was that long, but I actually was mentioning the wrong, that it actually was the opposite, basically because I saw this and couldn't remember it because it was so long ago, sorry. So that's it. Okay, let's get the APU running, and as you would know, you can't just switch it over to the start position. It has to make this like cool down, you can say. 1 second. I apologize if you could hear that. Not sure what is causing that. Yeah, okay. So let's get the aircraft running here now, the APU. And as you can see, it's up at running 100%. So now we actually have power from that. And now you see the warning. And what that means is that the buses are off, as you can see. So it is a bit odd that the APU generator lights up. Or is it me that's confusing again? You see, it is a bit confusing. You can see generator 1, 2, 3, 4 off buses. You can see there's no light in them, and you can see it's still not satisfied. So it's not that straightforward, as you can see. But let's switch off the ground power unit. There we go. It is now off. As you can see here, you have this 2D panel. Sadly, you can't do much about it. See. Yeah. Anyways, it is a bit confusing, as you can see, and I have to admit that. That's why you should read the manual, and where you see that I'm a bit rusty here with the aircraft. But from what I remember for the aircraft, some things are simulated, others are not, and that's basically some of it. Okay, let's get the joke away there. And now let's start the FMS here. Get that set up. Our cruise is also our final cruise, so we say 250. Just note that when you set it up here, it would be set in both. If you set it here, it's also both. But of course, if you would have an initial climb, then of course remember to set the final cruise, because if you want to make those step climbs, that's where you should do that. Give it the information. I mean, here we got information about the nav data and radio, as you can see. One thing to note here is the modes. If you're not aware, is the nav here can be switched between nav 1 and 2, and the FMS, then we would follow the FMS information. Okay, departure, and that's what I meant with following the flow here. Because first off, you go in here, and then we would select when we are going to depart from the runway 25, and you are using the arrows up and down to switch between them. If you have to switch page, because sometimes it can't be just at one page, you would use the next and previous page. When you have found what you want, press the select. That's what we do. Sit. We are going to fly this route here, and it is Logna. So we can't find it here. Go to the next page, and here we find Logna. And I'm just going to use this. Do note that I don't have the charts, even though for this particular FMS it is more important, I would say, to actually have the charts in order to set things right compared to the stock FMS. But you see here, you actually has the stock FMS. So if you feel the system over here is too complex, you can actually use the stock FMS to set things up. Just so you are aware of it. Transition, there are no, so that's why it says no. Then we go to the arrival page. It wants us to enter our destination. The developer has included that when you press the tab key, you can see here this little white dot and the O up here. Then I can type with the keyboard. So now I can just, and you hear that wobbling sound. So now it knows we are going to Santorini. Not that I can see there is much use for such a feature, because we actually are not doing like in an Boeing or Airbus style where you actually press the waypoints as such. You could, of course, but for our flight here it is not required. Okay, selecting runway, going to runway 16 left. I'm gonna select that, select the star, and as we could see on our route, we was going to Binki. So we would see Binki 1 Charlie. Okay, that's one. Select approach transition. Nope, that's not gonna do. Let's go here. ERJ, and we're just gonna select the first one because I don't know the other one and what the difference is. Of course, I could go to the plan page and then move forward, but as you could see, there's no way of previewing it right now, so it actually makes very little sense to do so, and that could be something to do different, to make it more user-friendlier perhaps, but we're not gonna arguing here. we're checking it and trying to demonstrate how it can be done, as that probably is what users that are using the aircraft is looking for. Okay, airways. Here we're going to see Logna, the Whiskey 57 to TPAS. Okay, got V to TPAS, and that's down there. So that is what we are going to select. There we go. And then it wants us to select the waypoint, and it is TPAS, that is the waypoint we're looking for. Then it knows that from TPAS we should be using L53 TPAS to Binky. Okay, selecting that and accepting that our final point is, you can see the exit point is Binky. Select, and then we actually have our flight plan, both with SITs, stars and route. Then we can go to the pre-flight plan page here and set the payload and such, the flaps position. If we go in here, we can set the thrust rating for the takeoff and such. Okay, then we can go to the MCDU page to actually activate, because you can see here it says new waypoints. You can see execute is not doing anything, but you would see that if I just continued here, let's do that, so you can see the difference. Cruise, our cruise speed, we can make a Mach number or an indicated airspeed. Just don't make 0.63. It won't accept it. But if I set 0.63, then you see it actually automatically sets the dot. So that's just something to know. Okay, wind direction can be set for the cruise, and wind speed, temperature is things that you can do. Okay, progress page is not alive right now. Flight plan page, you can see flight plan not loaded, and it actually, you just press the execute button and then you can actually activate it. The other way that you actually could do it, and I'm actually going to show it here. If you go to the MCDU index page, right here you could actually press the execute, and then it would do it. Now it gives us the warning because it actually already is in here. However, if you want to edit the SID, the star, and now we are back to the menu that you would know from the Embraer 1770 series version 1, where you actually had the edit the SID. There was also edit the route and such. Yeah. But if you want to clear everything, just go here and press initialize FMS, and it would erase the whole route. So don't do that if that's not your intention. The autopilot is some presets that can be set. Just note that the values here can't be changed, as you can see. It can be set right now, but if you activate the flight level change, it would be locked. And that's where you actually should use the speed knob instead of flight level change. You would know that often I'm using the flight level change because I actually can adjust the target airspeed for the main climb as well as approach. But there you have to set it to the speed mode instead in this aircraft, just so you know. I don't think, and that's why it's important to know your main aircraft. Radios, here you can set the radios. You also have them down here, the radios, but perhaps you feel it's a bit more comfortable down here and a bit easier to actually set it up. Okay. And let's see if it would be nice. Yeah. Let's try to do it online, just to make it a little bit more fun and have a bit of traffic here. So we are just gonna 145. There we go. And we are in KLM. And we're just using that one and connecting. There we go. Oops, and we get the warning. Okay, so now we are online. And the other traffic is parked over there. Not sure why. He is Delta Airlines, even he should be a Lufthansa. Anyways, here we are. So let's get this aircraft started. So what we would do is we would switch on those, and then we would set this red strobe light and the nav light, so we are ready to start. Then we can go in as a LG. I mean, it's stand 1. Starting up. And they are here for the altitude knob, small and big. Small arrow indicates 100 feet at a time, and the big is 1,000 at a time, and I really like that feature as it makes it a lot easier to set up. Of course, I could also do it from in here. Anyways, yep. Okay, and let's start the engine. Here we go. See, and I forgot. AP bleed. Whoops. There we go. We get a warning. Caution. But as I often say, it isn't that difficult to start a jet. It's actually more complex to start up a propeller aircraft often, because a jet is more or less just setting the knobs in the right positions, and then it more or less would start. Get those covers back, and let the engine stabilize here. Takeoff data can be set. I'm not gonna miss that much. See, the waypoints can be set. NDB. it is a bit complex to get used to operating stuff like this. Yeah, I even remember how it was to set the V1 and rotate in V2. What could be a bit of a challenge if you are not that used to it. Okay, anyways, pop-ups. Not sure why those buttons here are made for those pop-ups, and even though pop-ups, I can't really move them and such. So, in my opinion, they are not that useful. But anyways, we have different preferences. Okay, let's get the meta. And it is 1070, yes, and that one. There we go. And 250, yes. Let's get over here. MCDU. We can go to the and that's a thing that I feel isn't that easy to get to the flight plan page, because you saw we had the flight plan page, but in order to get into it, we need to go to the pre-flight and and this way here, actually to get to the flight plan waypoints. I can't remember if there is a shortcut, but I just feel it's a bit complex to get into that main page compared to what you are used to in the Boeing and Airbus. You just click this, but even though this also is a bit complex. So let's say that we are taxi to point 5. There we go. Just so they know what our intentions are. Oops. And everything is fine here. Of course, we could switch on all the lights here that we forgot. Yeah, let's just hit this stroke so we don't forget it. Okay, and yeah, here we go. As you can see, it responds very quickly to the inputs. And let's set the flaps 9 here. And it is already FMS set. Yeah. Okay. So let's see how it goes. It should be straightforward. I had an issue yesterday, and I really couldn't find out what it actually was. I actually had an autopilot issue that we couldn't use the heading. No matter what I switched, it said the heading was active, but it actually ignored it and just flied in direction that wasn't even for the FMC, so not sure why. Oops. My brakes here for the joystick isn't the best. I apologize for that. Okay, let's and we are going to Lokna. Whoop. There we go. That's a bit of if you get out of this range here for the text for the online flying, it can be a bit of a challenge here. Okay, GCAS, there we go, TARA set. So we are transmitting and receiving. Okay. One thing to note here about the FMS as well is that some of the waypoints even sometimes only is reference points and not according to the charts, and that's a bit annoying, but that's how it is. Anyways, let's take off here. Be a more demonstration than arguing video. I apologize.
You want one? No, right there. V2.
And it hand flies very well. In fact, we go. Yeah. So now we are airborne and we want direct. Just press the button here when you want to do direct. Switch on the autopilot and set the speed mode here, and then actually switch to nav mode, and then the aircraft is active. But it was a bit of a rapid climb there. You can see it is a bit slow responding to some areas, and now it really, and overshooting a bit here. I apologize for that. That was a very bad start in this flight. And that's basically why I often tend not to do tutorial videos, because there are so many things going on as well as you are in a new aircraft. And why I actually is a bit on the fence about some streamers that just take an aircraft and fly it and really don't know it, how to fly that particular aircraft. Because that often doesn't show any good. I forgot to do that. It's bad thing. So that's an extra challenge I have given myself here. Anyways, let's take the autopilot here. Okay, if I just selected the flight level change, see here, then it actually automatically adjusts the airspeed according to like VNAV, you could say. It also mentions here in the FAQ that the aircraft do not have VNAV. Here is the VNAV button. No VNAV function. You would normally use flight 4 speed to climb and VS to descend route. But there is some where in the manual where it actually is stated some of it, information about it. got this menu here where you actually can hide the cockpit. I know there are some, and there are stuff that you can select on and off as you like. Yeah, that's basically it. Not sure why the aircraft is not following the mark value right now. I really can't say. Anyways, I'm just gonna try doing this here. This, so now we actually are accelerating. Not sure what happened there, but I also guess I shouldn't be seeing too much there. Seating lights is on right now, and as you would know, there's an eastern leg here. Yeah, serious, do not press this, and then the entire cabin would be inverted if it was active, but it's not. So not the case, as in my opinion. I just the best to do. Anyways, not sure what is going on there with the airspeed, because we have gear up, cabin altitude high, and that's things. That's why we have to check this. But even though it should not have influence on our main aircraft, because we've got the outer pressurization down here that you can set here, and that's so, sadly our passengers may suffer from hypoxia. And the aircraft, because you actually have auto throttle. The original aircraft do not have this feature, but that's basically it. And yes, I know I forgot to say a bit more. That's here. So let's adjust our airspeed here so we can get to our destination. And when we first are up here and the auto throttle is on, it actually works pretty well, as well as hand flying, but it seems that it often is some of these things in between that is lagging, or not lagging, that's the wrong word, but often some add-ons are just made that feels like they only work if you do it on a line, say it that way. So do this now, do this now, do this now, do it in this order. And yes, that can get you from A to B. But the fact is that in reality, that's not how you are flying. Because right now we are flying to TPAS waypoint. In reality, air traffic control could tell us, you know what, go direct to Yuki, or in other cases they would actually direct us to another waypoint. And that is something I could see as a bit of a challenge, because if you are sitting here and want to make and direct to something that is not part of your route, and that's actually what is reality. It pretty much is reality. Then you have to go back here into a lot of steps into the route and add a waypoint. I'm going to say edit route, but that's not what you do. Say add a waypoint, but again, then you would have to set it into the correct context here. So now you see it's actually 6.3, but that's not the same as that would be the case. So right now in the aircraft, I seem to be a bit locked, because anyways, of course I could do direct to the waypoint, but I would have the risk of destroying the whole route by doing that, because I could enter a direct if I had to, but I guess it would destroy the entire flight plan. And that's a bit of the downside here, and why you can say that sometimes it feels like simmers just want to go from A to B by just following the entire route. And that's also something that Aerosoft has been mentioning, that it seems often that people just will want VNAV, want LNAV. And to be specific, I actually it's actually only if I'm in 737 I'm using the VNAV sometimes. I actually prefer to use the elevation and such, just like that in real life. Because in reality there's traffic, and the air traffic controller needs us to do good things. Okay, I would need to give information to our destination that we are incoming for the approach. Well, that was right. 4500 please. At, because I have to make some shortcuts here, I am sure. SNI And this is why I really don't like the way it is, because right now I'm using information that other pilots may say, what is that waypoint? When I don't have the chart to look at. And here you can see why our main flight plan look so odd. And I knew it, and that's also what I was mentioning here. You see, that's a mess. But, and I really going to say, but I have been flying so much, so I actually know some shortcuts here. So what we would do here is, now we would let the aircraft fly as it should, down to the 3500, but we would do some manual flight here. What I could do here is that I could say, okay, I have a bit of an issue here with the main view of the route here. I can't see much. But from what I remember, yeah, you can go into the flight plan here, and then you can switch from waypoint to waypoint. You see that by the arrows here, I can jump from point. So now we know Corax is this waypoint here, even though right now it is a bit messy. But it is there, even though I really can't read it. And that's the fixed point. From there, we would be flying out here. So, as you can see, we would be flying in here, out here, around, and then it would actually get us back towards the runway for the approach, and then it would continue like this if we have to make it go around. And that's one of the things you can say here is that in most aircraft the go around procedure, is it in the 737, it is white like it is here, and blue for the go around procedure. So it actually is visible to see what is active and what is not active. And that's a feature I would say that laminar research could work on, because I know some of this here also relies on what they are distributing. So that would be a good way of doing it, I guess. Okay, let's get back here on our main tracks. So we can see where we're going here. But I admit that the values here is a bit odd, as you can see. But from what I remember, the blue here is calculated by the profile, you can say, like VNAV. The green here is the restrictions from the charts. It is the restrictions from our main charts. Okay. So I hope that this is informative for you users. Even though I know I'm not a perfect captain of this aircraft, I certainly am not, but I know some ways to actually work around some of the main problems that some users might experience. And I understand those concerns because I also have the concern for the capabilities of the aircraft, as I have mentioned, but I try to make it clear that even that you can perfectly fly from A to B. You just have to know that the aircraft is not made in a way where you can edit route that much, and in particular there is not many add-ons that actually is fully simulated for the FMS for routing and modifying that, and that's even in some expensive Airbuses and such, where you wouldn't, whenever you know it or not, there are features to offset the routes and other kind of stuff. I am not sure that this particular aircraft is capable of doing that as well, because of course there are some differences, but and that's also why they are certified as they are, but it often isn't where add-ons are lacking. It is in those given areas. Okay, let's switch to the vertical speed. And it is actually a bit funny here, because you see the speed knob actually works as vertical speed. That's not something you are used to in most aircraft, but that's actually how it is here. Why I do this is because I actually want our outer throttle here to actually give us a constant speed. And now I see an issue here. And that's basically why I'm not that much of a fan for the speed flight level change mode and vertical speed, because they are limited, as you can see. Right now I want to set a vertical speed, but I'm not able to actually adjust the airspeed. Probably I could do this, and then I can go to it. You see? However, it could be that I could go in here and go to the autopilot section. In here, I probably could try to set it to 255. Oh, that wasn't heading. I apologize. That was not good. You see, that way I can adjust it. So, but again, it is not the right way to operate the aircraft. Because sure, in the real aircraft I can't go into a menu like this to adjust the approach. I'm a bit mixed with the way I am working my way around with the autopilot here. Now I know that the autopilot make a sound, because when we get below a given altitude, we can't fly above 200. See, now it goes into red. Not sure why, because I don't know. Goes into effects. We are allowed to fly at 250 knots, but I can't just switch in, as you can see. So now I would have to go back and their speed. Let's see what we do there. No, we can't. We have to go into the autopilot. It was a pure try. There we go. Entering accident. Now slow down the aircraft a bit. So you can see that's why the aircraft is not that user-friendly. However, from a point of development, you can say Steve is doing the job. It gives you the options, and I know from my work with the flight simulation as well, solutions I came up with for the autopilot and such, and other stuff is not always the perfect way, but that was the way to get through. And that's, from what I remember, also some of the stuff for this autopilot. The developer here is very talented because it's what he achieved, but again, it is most likely the limitations of X-Plane from what I remember. So it is actually operating with the limitations of X-Plane. Else you have to make real custom codes that goes beyond. That's often what's so cool. Hack, that you are hacking your way into the systems, or working your way around it, so you actually are doing your own stuff. So that's basically it. Let's get a little chance from that's really set the QNH now. 1016, there we go. And right now, air traffic controller gives a heading instead. So right now we're flying a bit more parallel. And right now I'm checking traffic here around Central, and it is so slow. I apologize. Doesn't seem there's traffic down there. So let's make it the safe way here. Inbound 5,000. left. Oops. 6 left. ETA 8. That's just to make it a buffer. Because in a moment things would happen. Anyways, you also need to slow down here. So I'm gonna switch to the speed mode and do it this way instead. Okay. And then air traffic controller would say fly direct to Conax, and we would do that this way. That way as well. Yeah. Just gonna say direct coax select. Yeah. That was actually the way that you should have been doing if you want to edit anything about the airspeed or such, is that you should go into the main waypoint here, and in here you would need to set up the main speed. So let's say we want to fly 250, I can do that, and then I would need to say update next. I can't. Okay, that can't be done. But that would be the way to do it, as far as I remember it. You will also insert after, and then you can edit the main pipeline. But it is such an edit if you should do it correctly. It really is, and it's not straightforward as such. That's for sure. Yeah. Okay. And right now we are coming in here for approach. I can see that we need to do it more manually here. So let's do that. Let's run these over here. We are a bit off here due to the way that I got it set up. And see here, we got centering right there, and yeah, we want to be a bit closer to the coast here. As you can see there. Okay, so let's continue our descent here. Not sure why it seems like I'm losing the focus sometimes. Not sure why. Sometimes the click spots for the knobs doesn't seem to respond. Okay.
Autopilot.
Anyways, we're just gonna do it the manual way, I guess. So, and now it gets a bit of a challenge, as we have to type as well as flying. are a bit high, we know that. But it's basically because we're trying to slow down as well. We actually has idle throttle right now. But I also know that when we're lowering the gear, as you can see now, it is decreasing. Oops. But we also have to keep a high enough airspeed, because in reality you need to keep a given airspeed also, a given point, to keep traffic flow, as well as you have other aircraft that rely on you, that you are vacating the runway at a given time and such. So it is more complex flying in real life than just saying, well, why did you do a hard landing and such? Well, it is actually pretty complex, because there is a lot going on in the cockpit until the touchdown.
500.
And yes, we are a bit high speed right now, so we actually has a bit of an unstable approach, you could say. Now we are a bit low, so now we can apply the flaps, and you really feel that flap right there. Right now I'm going to use this
100,
because I can feel that we are coming a bit hot.
10.
Off with that again, and trying to get it. Oh, it's really floating right now. The aircraft really likes to float. There we go. That was tight. And we have arrived here at the destination. And the sun is on its way down as well. Here on the sunny island. 21 degrees outside. Okay. And now let's set this off. There we go. And then we would just say LGSR. Then we don't have to mess more with the traffic here, and we can do more what we like here. But it was a too quick approach, I admit that. But that's how it is when you are on a schedule here. Because I actually also am on a schedule right now. As I have to get this complete, get to the terminal and the flight, so we can get something to eat. As that is actually ready. But we had some delays, and setbacks, but hopefully you learned something from the video, even though it wasn't as great an experience when we are looking at it from a route perspective. Because I don't know the procedures for the aborts. Probably I should do some more local stuff where I actually know the procedures. But I guess that it would just add to the enjoyment that it was a completely new place where I normally have not been flying it and streaming. Okay, we are here at the destination, and of course the APU is still running and it should not have been. Okay, and I know I am good at looking at my own faults here, but anyways, we got from A to B in the aircraft area 145 XR to be exact. But we have the inlets here. Anyways, thank you for watching and hope to see you again soon. Bye bye.